At the 200, Friday tackled by True Gold. It's True Gold on the outside, Friday kicking on the inside, Friday, True Gold coming again, Friday, True Gold, dead heat in the cup, I can't pick it.
It's 5 AM and we are located on Kingston Court, which borders the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. The street is home to many trainers and training complexes, two of which are occupied by trainer Patrick Bermingham Jnr. Born, raised and educated in the goldfields, Bermingham left to serve in the Australian Navy after completing high school. It would be the best part of a decade later that Bermingham would return to the region and begin his role as a thoroughbred trainer. Now into his 6th year as a trainer, KBRC TV took the opportunity to catch up with Patrick to get an insight into training in the goldfields.
Talk us through a typical morning. You've been down here a couple of hours, and just tell us about the people included in the operations and how a typical morning works down here.
We're up at about 2:30. We're generally here about 2:45, 3 o'clock. We start with the basic work. We do the mucking out, feed up, and then we start settling for the track to open at 4. And at 4 o'clock we've got Paulie who gets up and gives us a hand. So between Paulie, Flick and myself, we start the work at 4 o'clock.
How many horses would you work on a typical morning?
15 to 18 horses a morning. We have a few 2-year-olds now that are having a break, so the team's sort of cut down a little bit now, but around 15 to 18 a morning. And the majority of that work's done by Flick and Holly, our trapper.
Felicity, obviously a big part of the operation.
Massive, yes. Felicity being an ex-jockey herself and being my wife, it's very much a family affair. Yeah, she's my eyes and ears when I'm not able to be down here at all times, so she's a valuable asset.
What makes you get up at that time?
I try not to ask myself that question too many times because I might convince myself to stay in bed.
What's the best thing about training?
Winning.
Winning? Winning
a race, yeah. It's funny, you can lose 10 races, but to win one just makes up for all of it.
What's the most challenging part about training?
The horses. Getting horses right, sorting their problems out, placing them in the right races. Yeah, it's definitely the horses.
You've seen training facilities at other tracks. Tell us how you rate Kalgoorlie's training facilities.
Look, it's up there for the provincial sort of country circuit. It has to be right up there in WA as one of the tops, if not the top. We've got a good pool. We've got nice work tracks. On-course stabling is good. The stall area is good, and it's efficient. I find it to be more than capable.
What's your outlet outside of racing? What do you do to relax?
I have a hit of tennis sometimes, which I'm very bad at, and I don't really have time for much else between lecturing during the day and horses. Yeah, there's not much time.
Touch on that. You work full time.
Yep.
In addition to training approximately 20-25 horses.
Yep.
Must be a long day for you.
It is. It is a long day. I do enjoy lecturing though. I am a hydraulics lecturer in town here, and I enjoy the time away from horses as well. I don't have to sort of engross myself in them during the day, during the work hours. I get to switch off horses a little bit and do something different, so that's a good side of it.
Son of a horse trainer?
Yep.
When did you first become involved in horse racing, and when did you want to become a trainer?
Probably when I was about 5 or 6. I've sort of been involved in horses my whole life. I didn't want to be a horse trainer. I hated them as a kid, being forced after school, in primary school to go down and muck the yards out and bog the stables out, and then I just wanted to kick the footy with my mates. But I sort of fell in love with it when I got a little bit older and started going to the races. I really started to enjoy it.
You spent some time in the Navy after leaving high school?
Yep. Spent 6 years in the Navy. That was part of what spurred me on to want to be a horse trainer as well. I was able to be based in Melbourne when the good horses like Rowan and Sunline and that were running around, and just sort of got the bug again for it, and then started to help Dad out when I moved back to HMR Stirling here in the West.
One of the more notable victories of your father's was the 2007 Kalgoorlie Cup with Master Vision.
Yeah.
Where were you when that race was happening?
I was mixing feeds, listening to the radio at Dad's Ascot stable. Someone needed to stay down there and look after the horses there, so I was mixing feeds with a couple of my Navy mates, so they were giving me a hand, and yeah, we made sure we had something to do that day, so very exciting.
Now that you're 5 to 6 years into your training career, what's your advice to somebody thinking about taking out their licence?
Where to start? I've learned a hell of a lot, and it's a big reality check actually getting your licence. I'd probably say make sure you have a good financial grounding and a good knowledge base going into it, because you do get thrown in the deep end.
You have a contingent of local and outside owners.
Yep.
Tell us how important they are, and maybe touch on a couple of your main supporters.
Owners are the industry. If you don't have owners, if you don't keep your owners happy, then you're going to be a very lonely horse trainer and you're not going to have any horses. I've been supported ever since day dot by the Brennans, Mark and his 2 boys, Michael Brennan, both locally, the Brennans here and in Perth. You know, they've always been great to get me off the ground. Having owners like Connor Loxton and David Reed send horses up as well. We've got a really good spread. You know, we're not really dependent on any one owner. We've found that if we, you know, the ownership base is spread right around, and that's worked really well for us.
Tough question, but where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Training?
Yeah.
I don't know where. I'm not in love with, I'm not sort of married to Kalgoorlie for the rest of my life. I think we'll see the next 1 or 2 years out and we'll see where that takes us.
Is there a particular trainer that you idolise in the racing industry?
Idolise as such, I've got a hell of a lot of respect for a lot of them. Trainers like Justin Warwick and Adam Duran, what they're able to achieve with horses, I sort of aspire to, if I could one day get to their level. They've got a knack of turning horses around from other trainers, and you know, and going on to win good races with them. So, you know, they're trainers I sort of aspire to. And yeah, and blokes like Neville Parnham, you know, Mr. Parnham's been around for a long time and trained a lot of winners, and he's still up there. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of people that I look to and sort of hope to follow.
What's the best horse you've had in your stable?
That's a hard one. I'd have to say Underline. He did do most of his best work, and his city wins were for my father, but we had him towards the end of his career. He was a favourite of ours because we owned him, but I'd have to say Prince of Stars probably on ability.
Here comes Private Business striding around the outside, 3 wide, Prince of Stars getting up on the inside. Then came Rafferty, walked by my side, Full Metal Jacket. Last of all, they balance up. Ron's Gem leads from Prost, coming at it strongly on the outside. Then Hissation Akadasset looking for a run. Prince of Stars through on the inside. Inside the 200, Prince of Stars sprints to Prost. They were followed then by Ron's Gem, Prince of Stars and Prost. Prince of Stars doing the best, and Prince of Stars gets it a neck. Prost, Akadasset third.
Favourite horse you haven't trained?
Favourite horse I haven't trained? It'd have to be Texan Warney.
Why's that?
He's an old favourite of mine. I backed him about 4 or 5 years ago, and he got up for me, and I just loved following him throughout his career for his wins.
Is there a potential a race that you'd like to win in particular?
I'd like to win the Hannahs. Just due to the fact that Dad had a really good horse called Rayside, who we lined up, and he had a good crack at winning a Hannahs, but he broke down the week before, and I just, from that point in my childhood, I've always thought the Hannahs was that one that sort of for the family got away, so I'd really love to win a Hannahs handicap. With
the round approaching, what does race round mean to you, and how important do you think it is to the goldfields?
It's massive for the goldfields. It's massive. It's and for me personally, it's really good. It's a really exciting time of the year.
Don't go away, we've got more from Paddy shortly. But in the meantime, take a look at our tents on offer for this race round 2015 with the Boulder Cup on the 20th of September, followed by the Hannans Handicap on a Thursday this year, the 24th of September, followed by the pinnacle of the round, the 4X Gold Kalgoorlie Cup, the 27th of September 2015. Now that you're planning your trip to Kalgoorlie for race round 2015, check out our website for all the details, kbrc.com.au. It's now just after 6 AM and track work is in full swing. It's obvious that it's hard work getting through 18 to 20 horses every day, but the job is done day in, day out. We now catch up with Patrick to find out some of the other challenges involved in being a trainer.
Paddy, we're now at your second lot of stables. Just touch on what you think one of the biggest challenges is for the industry going forward, the thoroughbred industry.
I think a massive challenge for us is ownership, and not only retaining the owners that we've got, but bringing new ones in. There's a lot of initiatives that people are starting up. They're starting up in Perth, the metro area, owners only, things like that. But if we don't have owners and we don't have people investing in racing, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So yeah, we've got to get more people into the game, but also have a strong focus on making sure that you don't have them people that get in the industry, get burnt, and then don't ever come back. Because once you lose them owners, you don't get them again.
With ownership, have you had any success bringing new owners into the game?
Yeah, we have around town, and existing owners might want to get a family member or a friend in, and word of mouth, a few people come down and just ask for a share on a horse. It can be hard getting new owners in Kalgoorlie because it is a very regional place and people don't get a chance, the metro owners don't get a chance to come watch their horses run too often unless it's over the round. But yeah, we've had a bit of success bringing in new owners.
Kalgoorlie, do you believe is a good saying though to get new owners involved in racing?
Oh, it is. Look, it's obviously a difficult time in the mining sector, and we are a mining town. So when things are flying and it's in the boom, people are a lot more willing to buy shares in horses and have their toys and stuff like that. But it has gotten harder, but there are a lot of really good owners in Kalgoorlie and a lot of owners that support the industry.
Talk us through, it's most trainers' hopes that you get a good enough one to go to town and race with the bigger guys.
Yep.
You've had that experience. Talk us through the feeling of having a horse that's up to metro grade and actually knocking one off down there.
Oh, it's a massive feeling. It's very hard there. It's hard to win a race anywhere with any horse now, such as the game. People are willing to travel their horses, but to go down there and have a horse be competitive, that's a massive positive. Not just for myself, but for other owners as well. They love getting down there to the metro area and having a runner, and if you can be successful down there, it's a massive buzz.
You get down here obviously very early to start the mucking out, etc.
Yep.
But horses are animals that need to be cared for. When does your afternoon start down here, and how long does it take to get through all your horses?
I generally get down about 4, and Flick and Paulie have done a great job by then. They tend to get most of the afternoon stuff done before I get down here. So I'll get down here at 4 and tinker around and do what I need to do with my diary or things like that for an hour or so. And normally the latest we leave is about 6, but no, the staff do a really good job in the afternoons to sort of get things done nice and early.
Training so many horses, there's obviously a lot of paperwork involved as well.
Yep.
I guess that's waiting for you once you leave the stables.
It is when you get home, you've got to deal with all that stuff, and you've got to return all your phone calls and speak to all your owners and do all your gear changes and nominations, and yeah, the list goes on. But yeah, you sleep well.
For most trainers in Kalgoorlie, they're either located on the track or next to the course. It's not a bad benefit especially when you're starting out training, and now you've been 5 years into the caper. It's definitely an advantage being so close to the track.
Yeah, you really notice the difference in logistics, just if you weren't based on course. That's a luxury that we take for granted here. I couldn't imagine having to fly horses to the track like a lot of people have to every morning. It'd severely limit your numbers. You have to increase your staff. Yeah, we do take it for granted, and it's a great place to train Kalgoorlie. As I said, you get to be on course. The on-course stabling's good. The club does a good job to keep the track in good condition and facilities. We've got a pool that you can walk to. So to have everything at your doorstep, we're very lucky.
Very successful year for you last year.
Yes.
In excess of 20 winners.
Yep.
Just touch on the year and how you think you went and how it's sort of set up a springboard for you to continue on.
Last year was a great year. We had a lot of the horses that we invested time and money into sort of pay us back. Horses like Casino Glen and Prince Stars, they strung a lot of races together, and it does open the door up for new owners. And I suppose it's the sort of game we're in. Success breeds success. You know, if you're going well, people are going to give you horses. If you're not going any good, you're not going to get any good horses. So you just need a couple of breaks and a little bit of luck to go your way, and the ball starts rolling from there.
You've built up some relationships, obviously, with some jockeys in the game.
Yep.
Putting them on time and time again. Just touch on some of the jockeys that you lean to and that have done a good job for you over the past 24 months.
Last year, Emma Stent done a great job for us. Natasha Faithful. This year as well, Emma's been rubbed out a bit, but we've really had a lot of support, and we've helped out Tash and Jerry Noski. Natasha Faithful and Jerry Noski, they've been great for us. Young Joe Casey's starting to ride a bit for us now. He's a good kid with a lot of promise, and likewise Jordan Turner. So we're really happy with the jockeys that we've got riding for us at the moment. Yeah, we wouldn't want anyone else on.
Paddy, you've travelled quite a bit going to horse racing events across the world. Just touch on the places you've been and the experiences while you've been there.
Whenever I go away, I like to go away to the races. Singapore and Hong Kong are favourites of mine, especially Hong Kong. I like the way they go about their business. It's a very professional outfit, the way that they run it, and yeah, I love Hong Kong racing. I think it's fantastic.
You've been to a Melbourne Cup. Which horse did you go over there to see win the Cup?
I went to about 5 or 6 in a row in succession from 2006 onwards. So we got to see a lot of good horses go around, and as I said, in my Defence Force days, I was lucky enough to be based over there. So for a couple of years, I was able to go to all the features. So it's always good. You
say how when you get some time off to go on a holiday, funnily enough, you go watch horse racing somewhere else.
Yeah.
Is it just a pure enjoyment and a chance to relax when you're not involved in saddling up a horse, but you get to go and spectate?
Exactly. That's why I love Hong Kong so much. You can go to Happy Valley down in the beer garden and just enjoy the racing and have a good time, and not have to stress about the race day pressures that you have to deal with back here.
Speaking of pressures, last year you decided to keep a couple of horses in work and go down to Esperance throughout the season.
Yes.
It makes for a full-on year, obviously, with Cal ending in September and Esperance ramping up shortly afterwards. Is that something you're going to look at once again this year? Not this year.
I think we've gone straight through for 2 years now, so I think we are going to have a well-earned break at the end of September, and if we've got a couple of horses knocking the door down, like last year, to go for a midweek run or a northern run or something like that, I'll probably take them down for 1 or 2 runs, but aside from that, I think we'll have a break through November, December.
Patrick Bermingham, thanks for your time.
Not a problem. Thanks.
Paddy had a stellar season at the KBRC last year, and based on his passion and dedication for the game, one can only suggest he will improve from here on in. A big thank you to Patrick Bermingham Jnr, who gave us his time to learn a little bit more about Paddy and his operations.